Coming up on Mountain News this morning, the Commonwealth is facing a referee shortage, causing some sports to shut down games. And Eastern Kentucky University is offering a new program which aims to help some students get ahead.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News this morning.
Good morning, I'm Olivia Calfee. The time is 6:01 on August 24th. Now let's check in with Chief Forecaster Brandon Robinson for a look at your forecast this morning. And Brandon, it is I guess a good start to the day. But
for now.
For now, it's just going to keep warming up. And I know with Friday night football starting back tomorrow for, I guess, its second week, it's going to be a hot game tomorrow.
Right, and I know a couple of games, including our Pike County Bowl, is already pushed back an hour. So again,
a lot of delays.
Exactly.
For sure.
You got to kind of get out of the heat part of the day there, and hopefully those heat index values start to go down a little bit. But this morning, we're watching some rain. Yep, the forecast has evolved constantly over the last 24 hours, but we can tell you now, and unless something changes in the next few minutes, I do believe we will see some rain a little bit later this morning. It's across the river in Ohio, but look at the way it's moving. Look how it's kind of filtering in there through the entire state, and it's set to cross the border here in a little bit. I think it'll move through pretty fast, but again, that could put a little bit of a damper on how warm we get today. So we're going to put a sun and clouds on there, maybe a little bit darker at times, but mild and muggy this morning. Temperatures generally in the 70s for most areas, back up to 70 in Prestonsburg, 72 in Pikeville. The 60s basically confined for the most part, at least the mid to lower 60s into southwest Virginia, upper 60s close to 70 and above across most of the mountains. Dew points in the 70s or close to it there in many areas. So again, it is air you can wear out there this morning. 12-hour planner. I think we're absolutely going to see those storm chances there as we head toward 10, 11, 12 o'clock, and then skies will clear out pretty quickly. Temperatures will soar, but I only believe we'll get to maybe around 90 today. I don't know if we'll rebound that fast. The 94, 95 there was because of the simple fact that we weren't sure if we were going to see the rain, and we were forecasting for that. But I do believe we'll see some here in the next few hours. Olivia?
Thank you, Brandon. Senator Mitch McConnell has announced nearly $3 million in federal funding for combating opioid abuse. 3 organizations in eastern and southern Kentucky are set to receive a portion of that money, totaling $300,000. The recipients include Kentucky Rural Health Information Technology Network in Corbin, Mountain Comprehensive Care Center in Prestonsburg, and Kentucky River Community Care in Hazard. Yesterday, Kentucky Attorney General and Republican candidate for governor Daniel Cameron was in Lexington. Cameron was endorsed by the Kentucky Fraternal Order of Police at the FOP Lodge on Duval Street. State FOP members say they've had a strong relationship with Cameron in his role as Attorney General, and that they felt more of a connection with him than with Governor Beshear.
Our members just felt like they could pick the phone up, that he was like one of us. We could call him, we could talk to him, and even though we didn't have an adversarial relationship with the current governor, they just didn't feel that kind of connection to him.
State FOP President Burl Perdue says Cameron, quote, offers the best platform for law enforcement to thrive in the Commonwealth, end quote. Meanwhile, Governor Beshear has been endorsed by other law enforcement agencies. Back in June, we told you about the group Law Enforcement for Andy Beshear, which has endorsed him. That group is made up of 35 law enforcement officials across the state, including Floyd County Sheriff John Hunt, who's been seen in recent Beshear political ads. School districts across the state are reporting referee shortages. Some teams are changing football schedules, and other sports like soccer are canceling games completely. We're being told regardless of the sport, officials are needed. Julia Sandor spoke with KHSAA officials and local sports leaders about the problem.
Without them, the game can't continue to grow.
The job of a referee is an important one that many sports officials say is underappreciated.
Number one reason why we're losing officials is what I would call is the environment. They are subjected to an expectation of almost professional ability when most of the time officiating is not even their second job. It's probably their third or fourth involvement.
KHSAA Commissioner Julian Tackett says players, coaches, and refs make mistakes, but sometimes it becomes personal and pushes away experienced refs. Shortages can cause game changes or cancellations. For growing sports in Lexington like soccer, the more games they have, the more officials they need.
It's when we get to some of the older games where we need more experienced officials. That's where these guys are really working a lot of games on a weekend.
It can take 1,000 snaps and hundreds of plays to become a great official. While they're getting new hires, Tackett says they're losing their experienced ones.
We're down with volleyball and football for this year. We're way down for this basketball season, but it's still August. So we've got time before the basketball season really hits.
According to KHSAA, right now they have nearly 4,000 total officials. That's compared to the more than 5,000 officials for the 2022-23 season. In Lexington, Julia Sandor, WKYT.
There's also a junior license program for teens ages 14 to 17 to train to become a referee. They work alongside a mentor or an experienced official. The program's goal is to recruit more people for the future. A group of high school students are getting a head start on their careers thanks to a new program at Eastern Kentucky University. This is the inaugural year for EKU's Medical Explorers Academy. 10 students from surrounding high schools are getting the chance to take college-level courses and get hands-on work at a hospital. School leaders hope the experience will excite students about their future.
I hope that they're going to gain so much excitement for the healthcare professions that they are just going to get passionate and they're going to want to go from there, and you know, the sky's the limit.
This year's group of students are all from Madison County, but leaders at EKU say they are inviting any Kentucky high school student who qualifies to join next year. The Mountain Firefighters Association is hosting the only free fire school in the state this weekend, an event that will likely bring between 500 and 600 firefighters to Perry County. As WYMT's Keaton Hall tells us, the event also coincides with a new music festival in downtown Hazard.
More than 500 firefighters will flock to the mountains this weekend for the annual Hazard Fire School.
We bring firefighters in from all across the state of Kentucky. They're from all the way out west to all the way up north.
Brandon Smith, president of the Mountain Firefighters Association and lieutenant with the Hazard Fire Department, says they're excited for a big turnout since the event has been canceled in years prior.
And that was one of my goals this year because, of course, we've had to cancel due to COVID and the flooding of last year. And that was what I told the board this year. I said, without a doubt, fire school this year.
The fire school also coincides with the 5-Alarm Festival in downtown Hazard.
This is the only free fire school in the state, and it's 3 days. So we're going to have this event as a way to kind of have a really fun Saturday for them.
The festival begins with the fire truck show and activities for kids, then music in the evening.
Freddie Guffey, who's actually a fireman himself, who's a local guy, he's going to play for a little while. And then we've got Ben Fugit in the Burn and Trash Band, although I don't believe they will allow any burning of trash at this particular event. And then Bedford Band.
A full day supporting those who risk their lives.
It don't matter if you've been in it for 10 days. It don't matter if you've been in it for 30 years. We'd love to have you down here in Hazard, give you some great training. We're going to do some stuff that's never been done in this town before.
Smith says they'll have 50 to 60 instructors at the fire school. In Hazard, Keaton Hall, WYMT Mountain News.
The activities start at Triangle Park in downtown Hazard at 5:30, and the music will be on Main Street starting at 8. Tickets to the music show will be $5. An exhibit highlighting an Eastern Kentucky native's country music career is now open. Patty Loveless, No Trouble with the Truth, explores the Pike County native's long career and enduring music. You can see it at the Country Music Hall of Fame and Museum in Nashville. It includes personal and career artifacts, photos, interviews, and more. The Grammy-winning singer is now 66 and is in this year's Country Music Hall of Fame class.
6:10 on the money this morning. We continue to track a little bit of rain across the river in Ohio, but here at home we are still mild and muggy. 72 Pikeville, US 119, US 23 intersection. I was over there just yesterday coming back. Went over to Pikeville to get something to eat, but I was coming back from Elkhorn City. Got a picture going on social media of my visit over there to the elementary school about 7 o'clock here this morning. Maybe try to show it to you on the news. We have some time later on. We're looking at temperatures in the 60s and 70s out there right now. Dew points close to 70. And for the breakdown, I do believe we're going to see some rain chances. That probably cut into our temperatures. We were forecasting 95. I'd say it'll be closer to 90 because depending on how long the rain is around here, it might take a little bit longer to rebound, but it is going to be a hot and humid day regardless, above 90 for the forecast high. So just be aware of that and continue to keep your heat precautions in place. Olivia?
Thank you, Brandon, and thanks for joining Mountain News this morning. More news is on the way. Coming up, there was a shooting at a California bar last night, leaving some people dead and some injured.